Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready for the Lancashire Hotpots virtual pub quiz? And here's your quizmaster, Dickie Ticker.
Welcome everybody. It's Monday night. It's 7 o'clock and it's time for the Lancashire Hotpots virtual pub quiz, episode number 19. I'm Dickie, I'm your quizmaster. I hope you're ready for the next 40 or so minutes of fun. Now then, I want you to join in at home, and to do that you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a pen, a paper, you're going to need a drink to drink and some nibbles to eat whilst you do that, and just so you can get dead comfy. And that, so type in the box if you're playing along with us tonight. If you've got a team name as well, stick that in there. And if you've got a couple of mates in their various abodes who you think would be great playing along with you and you can see you can get the best score, why not tag them in now? While you do all that with your drinking, your nibbles and your tagging, I'll go and speak to some very sensible men indeed. Men with a thirst for knowledge, if you will. It's the Lancashire Hotpots. First up tonight, it's Bob. Bob, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Bob Riggles and I'm from Lancashire.
Yay! Now,
Bernard Thresher.
You're not normally first, are you, Bob?
Not normally first, am I? I'm first up because somebody's not turned up for the quiz tonight.
Somebody's at the pub tonight.
With
Sent a message at
Wi-Fi.
2 minutes past the designated time. Oh, I forgot
Even
me.
though there have been several WhatsApp messages today reminding of what, it's not as if we've only just started doing this, is it? This is the 19th quiz. So shame on you, Bernard Thresher.
Who does he think he is? Billy McCartney?
So never mind. I suppose for the Lancashire Hotpots, if you are going to be missing from the quiz, if you're actually at a pub, that's not. It's almost a valid excuse.
It's kind of, but it's not really. Not in my way. I've already put a GIF in the WhatsApp. The GIF is when you type in whatever into a GIF search, and it's that bloke from the American Office that does that. That's the GIF. I might be able
to bring that up.
Let's do it now.
Never mind about the slack Thresher. What have you got tonight to celebrate Monday night with all the hot potting quizzes at home to eat and to drink?
So, out of my Brewdog Mega Pack, I've only got Dead Pony Club left, which is what is it, KB? 3.8%?
3.8?
Yeah, it's a little ABV, and I thought, Monday nights you need something a bit more rock and roll. So I bought my favourites. Bought my favourites again. It's Brewdog versus Cloudwater.
Oh, nice.
New England IPA at 6.8%. Oh, yes.
No messing about. Very clean, very crisp.
Very cold. It's been in the fridge.
Excellent. What have you got to soak all that up?
So I have not got a one-chip challenge Doritos from the previous chili challenge that was released on Friday just gone. But trying to keep in the spirit of things, I've got myself some Walker's mix-ups.
Oh, if only McCartney was here now, he could tell us all the tales.
He's probably had his fingers in then.
He probably has.
Can I smell it?
See, they're perfect for me because I never make a decision of what to have, so they've got everything.
Yeah.
So, but you're
like Tay-Barns in a bag.
Oh, you're going to enjoy your mix-ups tonight. Okay, cheers for that, Bob. Next up on the list is Mr. Kenny Body. Kenny, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'll do. Kenny Body here, and I'm from Lancashire.
Yay!
Thank you.
Still in the Rebel Base, I see.
Yeah, I got told off last time, though. I'm not allowed to, mention where we are or what we're doing or what's happening on these screens here, so I'm just, I'm leaning on it. I keep pressing buttons by accident as well. I shouldn't really lean on it, but, it's
No.
So.
Yeah,
still here.
Okay. So, what have you got for your drink tonight?
Well, the weather here on is quite nice. So I've gone for an Overworks sour Tropic Robotic.
Oh, wow!
Which is a passion fruit, guava, and coconut sour.
Ooh.
That's almost technically one of your 5 a day. Oh, no messing about.
How much?
So 8%, which showers.
Now the thing is, when you have 8% beers or anything that's quite high, you usually do quite well in the quiz.
Yeah, the higher the percentage, the better I do. So that's what
we've not got the absolute quiz genius Bernard to kind of to be any kind of threat.
Pressure's off.
You're the man to watch.
Yeah, so she's quite juicy looking, and yeah,
she's a hazy lady.
Bottoms up.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
You're getting it all. And what have you got to?
But you've got that bit of alcohol.
What have you got to soak that up with?
With it being a juicy fruit, I went for some jelly tots again.
Oh,
finish the bag off.
Yes.
Wonderful. The taste of
Pop them in a little bowl.
Oh,
To be fair, a bit sweet. I love them.
Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, cheers for that, KB. And up next, we have, last but by no means least, it's Dr. Ron. Ron, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, everyone. My name's Dr. Ron Seal, and I'm from Lancashire.
Yay! He is. Right, have you had a busy week or relaxing week? What sort of week have you had, Ron?
Well, I've had a really relaxing week up until watching the Chili Challenge again on Friday, and then I had some PTSD, so I'm all right now. I had a lie down and I got back up. I'm all right. Yeah.
Can you make that noise that you make for us on demand?
Oh, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Did you enjoy that? Is that a cleansing experience?
Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely. It was lovely. Yeah. It was like being punched in the mouth by the sun.
So
I only get the heat.
Yes, I only get the heat.
So, what have you got to refresh your battered tongue from all those chili challenges tonight?
Well, tonight I've gone. I've gone down down market a little bit. It's only because for the same price as the BrewDog, I could get 8 more bottles of booze, and I went for the Coors Light, which are actually quite refreshing, quite crisp, just not as upmarket as the BrewDog, obviously.
No.
I couldn't drink 8 of them.
I've got to drink 20.
How many there is?
No,
20
I said 8 more.
You get 12, don't you? You get 12 in the BrewDog. So you get 20 in this. So, yeah. So I'm all right. And then for nibbles, I've gone old school and classic. I've gone ready salted squares.
Oh, right. We might have a question about those later in the quiz, so you might actually be at an advantage. So some people might consider that cheating in the Hot Pots quiz. But we shall see as the quiz progresses. As always, I'm going to ask you 10 questions on 10 different topics. They're the usual range of topics. I won't go over those. Each correct question, sorry, I've got a cat with me, carries the value of 1 point. 10 correct answers will give you 10 points. As always, no answers in the comments, please. I know some newbies have joined the quiz over the past couple of weeks and been a little confused. Just put the answers on your sheet. Important Hot Pots who joined us this week, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot Potters at home, are you ready? Well, let's get quizzing. Question number 1 is music. And the 1984 supergroup of Band Aid asked, do they know it's Christmas? And they probably do, because it's estimated that Christians form 40% of Africa's population. Now then, Band Aid 2 came along in 1989 with a whole new lineup of superstars. But one group appeared on both Band Aid 1 and Band Aid 2. Who was it? Was it A, Status Quo? Was it B, Spandau Ballet? Or was it C, Bananarama?
Ooh.
So there was one group that spanned the years of 84 and 89, appearing in both versions of Do They Know It's Christmas? But which was that group? Was it A, Status Quo, B, Spandau Ballet, or C, Bananarama?
See, I was hoping one of the options was going to be U2, because I know Bonio, he did sing his famous twice.
He was on Band Aid 20.
Yeah.
So that's question number 1. Question number 2, as always, is films. And this week, we're talking about the films of the man who switched on the Bath Christmas lights in 2009. That's right, it's Nicolas Cage.
Ooh, yes.
Now, his two greatest films, perhaps, are those 90s smashes, Con Air and The Rock. But which one of those films has a higher IMDb rating?
Ooh.
So, you've got Con Air, you've got The Rock. Both fantastic films in their own right. But one of them has a higher rating on IMDb. Which one is it? Con Air or The Rock?
I'm going to go with the gut instinct here.
I mean,
I know
again,
which one I prefer. So
they're both great films. And did anyone out there know that he actually switched on the Bath Christmas lights in 2009?
No.
I actually went for my honeymoon in Bath, and we went on a coach trip, and we drove past his house.
Wow.
It's certainly his house, his apartment, when he sort of stays there. It's in this like great big circular courtyard. Oh yeah.
You could have got Bobby Davro to switch on your Christmas lights. Instead, you got Nicolas Cage.
He's more expensive than Nicolas Cage, Bobby Davro.
Is he?
Yeah.
Question number 3 is egg, sausage, chips and beans. And it's chips this week. Or more specifically, we're talking about something that you splash on your chips. Now, sometimes at a chippy, instead of vinegar, you get non-brewed condiment, which is a certain acid mixed with colourings and flavourings. But which acid is it? Is it A, citric acid? Is it B, tartaric acid? Or is it C, acetic acid? So acid is a main component of that non-brewed condiment that you sometimes see at a chippy instead of vinegar. But it's a certain acid. Is it A, citric acid, B, tartaric acid, or C, acetic acid? Apparently, you're not allowed to call non-brewed condiment vinegar, nor are you allowed to put it in vinegar bottles. The trading standards will come down on you like a ton of bricks.
Well, that's my activities next weekend ruined. That's exactly what I was going to do.
You just can't do it.
Well.
Question number 4 is bitter, lager, cider, ale and stout. And this week it's cider, but we're talking about cider drinkers, the Wurzels. Now, the Wurzels, or the Zells, as they're known if you're in the business, like what we are, have only ever had one #1 single. Which was that single? Was it A, I Am a Cider Drinker, B, Farmer Bill's Cowman, or C, Combine Harvester? The 70s were a funny time for music. Bowie, Queen, Suzi Quatro, the Wurzels, all the big chart people there, and they only ever had one #1 hit single. Was it A, I'm a Cider Drinker, B, Farmer Bill's Cowman, or C, Combine Harvester? Question number 5 is that all-important crisps round.
Yes.
And this week, it's a question about the UK's loudest crisp. Now, food scientist Dr. Stuart Farrimond used a noise meter, what we would refer to as an SPL meter if you're in the trade, of course, to record the crunch of some of the UK's most popular snacks. But what I want to know is, according to his research, which is the loudest crisp in the UK? Is it A, Doritos Original? Is it B, Square Crisps? Or is it C, Tyrrell's Ready Salted? So imagine the volume there within your crisps. Is it likely to be A, Doritos Original, B, Square Crisps, or C, Tyrrell's Ready Salted? You can imagine Tyrrell's being made of a firm potato, can't you? Doritos Original, we all know the crunch of that corn. Which one of those do you think gives the loudest crunch?
Well, I've got 2 out of 3 of those crisps, and I'm trying to call them to memory. The 2 out of 3, I know there's a definite louder one of that, but the third one is a non. I'm not sure about it.
Well, you're going to Have a stab at it.
Away now.
Question number 6 is a little-known popular beat combo called the Lancashire Hotpots. Now, the 6 of us, although if you watch the quiz tonight, you wouldn't necessarily think that, but we do have occasional help from time to time with people who become hot pots for a day. Now, I'm going to give you the names of some people who have either played on our records or been part of the band on stage. 2 of them are real, and 1 of them is a falsie. So what I want to know is, who is the one that I've just made up? Pardon me. Is it A, Les Ismo? Is it B, Ostentatious? Or is it C, Crispin Dry? So we occasionally get people in to help us. Not saying that we're rubbish or anything. No, we need a lot of help. But sometimes help is needed. So here's 3 people who are hot pots, except 1 of them isn't. I've just made them up. Les Ismo, good fella is Les. Ostentatious, great chap is Austin. Austin, wonderful bloke. Or C, Crispin Dry. Crispin, he's a bit posh, as you would expect with a name like Crispin, but he's a wonderful fella. Except 1 of those are completely made up. Which one is it? Which one is not and has never been a 1 or 2 day hot pot? I wonder how well everyone will do about that. Question number 7 is I Fear IKEA.
Oh.
We were talking about Billy bookcases last week, weren't we, chaps? And I'm going to continue the theme. What I want to know is how much is that famous Billy bookcase? Is it A, £30? Is it B, £35? Or is it C, £40?
Doesn't a Billy bookcase come in different sizes? You can add bits to it.
The one I'm concerned is 80 centimetres by 28 centimetres by 202 centimetres in height. So those are your dimensions for a standard Billy bookcase. But how much is that standard Billy bookcase? A, £30, B, £35, or C, £40?
Value for money, that isn't it, really?
Well, it's quality furniture at low prices, as we know.
We go around the country slagging it off, but actually,
when all said and done.
All right.
Hey now. Question number 8 is everyone loves a Bernard, though everyone doesn't love a Bernard this week.
I don't like
Tonight.
What a loser. But let's think about better Bernards. And this week it's Nobel Prize-winning playwright George Bernard Shaw. Now, Bernard, as he liked to be known, is perhaps best known for writing the play Pygmalion, which would be adapted in 1956 into which popular Broadway musical?
This is Ron Sales' bag, this. If he doesn't get this,
got it. Done.
we need to send him pickled eggs in the post.
Done.
Would you like to be sponsored by a Pickled Egg Company, Ron?
No, not at all.
Well, if you could be, because if you could be sponsored by anybody in the world, Ron, what company would that be, do you think? Go on, put a request out. You never know who's watching.
Well, actually, I have got quite a large garden fence, and it does need quite a bit of varnish. So maybe my namesake, maybe my face should be on those tins, giving it my Ron seal of approval.
No, there you go. Well, I shall keep an eye on the inbox.
Thank you.
We'll
Cheers.
see what happens. So George Bernard Shaw is perhaps best known for writing the play Pygmalion. Put on the stage in 56, filmed as a film in 1964. What was the name of that musical and film? Very famous film. Very famous musical.
What year was the film?
1964.
I've been to see it at Drury Lane, London.
The Drury Lane Theatre, darling.
I've been there.
Question number 9 is television. And this is a bang-up-to-date question. Which continuing drama won Best Soap at this weekend's BAFTA Awards? Oh well, don't look like this. Look, if you don't keep it abreast of the news. Anyway, if you don't know, there's only about 4 popular soaps. So
yeah, they kind of decide between them, don't they? Who's going to win it this year? Who's won it last year? It should be this year. Do you want it this year? We've not had it for a bit. Yeah, go on then, yeah.
I'm sure it's all to do with how many deaths or stabbings or relationships or affairs or car crashes there's been this year. I think that's the metric of awards. So which soap won Best Soap at this weekend's BAFTAs? Bang up to date with your DJ TikTok questions. Can you believe we're on question 10 already? And this is our potluck. This is our true or false round. I'm going to read a following statement. He's rustling the crisps. John Ratzenberger, who played Cliff the postman in Cheers, was one of the writers of Crown Court, the Granada TV afternoon courtroom series that ran from 1972 to 1984. Is that true or false? Yeah, John Ratzenberger, the guy who plays Cliff in Cheers, and he's also the pig in Toy Story.
Isn't he in every Pixar film?
I think he is, yes. He has a role in each of them. He's a lucky charm, as it were.
Abominable Snowman in Monsters, Inc.
Was he now?
Yes, he was.
He has got a great voice now. Fantastic voice.
Yeah. But what I want to know is, as well as all those things in Pixar, was he one of the writers of Crown Court, the Granada TV series that was on in the afternoons from 1972 to 1984? What do you think? Is that true? Or is that false?
So if it's made by Granada, it means it's kind of northwestern, isn't it? Regional.
What do you reckon? Did Dickie tick a curveball? Those are your 10 questions for this Monday evening. Gentlemen, let's raise a glass at the beginning of another week. Clockwork Tangerine.
Oh, yes.
For me. Lovely, lovely. We've got a bit of sun here at the moment, so that's going down very well.
Was that in your Brewdog box?
Yes.
Am I the only person who's drank that full box?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Going wrong, isn't it?
It is. It's all going wrong. You're seeking comfort. You're seeking the warm, beery, fizzy embrace of the cans of Brewdog.
I have to say, this Tropic Robotic and Jelly Tots is purring a lot better than I thought it would. They actually are bringing the flavour out of each other quite well. I'm really impressed.
Nice.
And I'm soaking up the Clockwork with the McHenry American Way tortillas hot chili variety. And they're going down very well. So you know how sometimes we have a sponsor for this particular midway section of the quiz? Well, tonight the sponsor is our forthcoming live streaming gig on Saturday the 15th of August. The strapline is, if you can't come to us, we will come to you. So we're going into a recording studio / rehearsal facility, and we are going to play a Saturday night gig for all of you at home. It's going to be full studio quality, multi-track audio, and we are basically going to do a full gig from start to finish, and it's going to be great. And it's going to be like coming to a Lancashire Hotpots gig, but you sat on your couch in the front room and you wanted to get a taxi home, and you can eat a pizza or a curry whilst you're watching us. This is basically the best Saturday night idea ever. So tickets are available from this link. I shall put something up there, and if enough people buy them this time round, what we'll hopefully do is we will do a gig every month, maybe do the best Hotpots classic albums in full, which is something that, other than Nevermind the Hotpots, we've never done before.
It'll be interactive as well, won't it, Nicky? It will be interactive.
It will be interactive. You'll be able to give us virtual heckles. We'll be able to communicate with you via a little chatty box. So it's basically going to be the best Saturday night out you've had for quite some time, but it's a Saturday night in, and that's with the Hotpots. Get your tickets from their link.
After both worlds.
I mean, we're assuming Bernard's going to turn up and not forget.
We're hoping, yes. We're hoping Bernard won't forget like he forgot tonight.
Well, we can always get Stu Penders in if you want, if Bernard's not doing it.
Now, I don't think Stupendous is he's signed on for this particular gig, do you think he'll be annoyed in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, he might still want paying.
Well, yeah, he does. If you don't give him an envelope full of £10 notes, he does tend to get quite aggressive, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He gets quite punchy, yeah.
But if this one is a success, then I think he can be part of the future one. So again, if you want to see Stupendous in your, or can you imagine Stupendous in your front room on a Saturday night? Oh, how horrific that would be.
In HD, be horrendous.
In HD, but there's a safety barrier of the internet between you both. That's great. Okay, let's get on to some questions. We will see how the Hotpots and how you did at home. And question number 1 was music. And I was talking about Band Aid 1 and Band Aid 2. And there's only one group of artists who spanned those 5 years and those 2 separate versions of Do They Know It's Christmas. Was it A, Status Quo, B, Spandau Ballet, or C, BANANARAMA? Bob, what do you think on this particular quandary?
To be honest, I obviously remember the first one. Couldn't remember. But Bros in the second one.
Bros were in the second one, yes. They were very big at the time.
Those are Stock Aitken and Waterman faces. In that case, then, I went with BANANARAMA.
BANANARAMA. Kenny?
Well, not 100% sure. I've probably got this one wrong. I don't think it's Spandau Ballet because by that point they were probably already imploding. So it was between Status Quo and BANANARAMA. I think Bob's probably got it right now. He's just given his reasoning, but I went with Status Quo because they're kind of like ever present. Well, they were until recently.
Throughout the decades, yes. Oh, God rest his soul.
That was my reasoning, but Bob's reasoning does sound a bit more plausible. So not confident.
Thank you for that, Kenny. Ron?
Well, I mean, I remember obviously both versions, but I remember one band in particular were still as popular in the tail end of the 80s as they were in the mid 80s. And like Bob, I did a little drawing. I went with BANANARAMA.
We love your drawings, Ron, and there's a lot of reasonings that went down very well there because the answer is C, BANANARAMA.
Damn.
Now, the clue was in the Stock Aitken and Waterman that you were suggesting because they were Stock Aitken and Waterman acts in the late 80s, and Stock Aitken and Waterman were behind.
I only kind of made the Stock Aitken and Waterman link. I was kind of talking to it then. Yeah.
Oh, Kenny's letting his 80s pop knowledge down there.
Yeah, I know.
Never mind. Don't worry, there's always next week. Question number 2 is films, and we're talking about the films of Nicolas Cage. His 2 probably best films are Con Air and The Rock. But which one of those films has a higher IMDb rating? Bob, you watch a lot of films. Which do you think is the better user-rated film?
Well, personally, I think Nicolas Cage's best performance is the time he appeared on Wogan.
Oh, in fact, I shall put that in now.
Welcome, Nicolas Cage.
Brilliant. Off his head. In fact, can we get Bernard to learn how to somersault? And throw empty crisp packets into the audience.
That's his best performance ever, but my favourite of those 2 films, although they are both good, is The Rock. So I've gone with The Rock.
You've gone with The Rock. Kenny?
Yeah, my head said Connor, but my heart said The Rock. Like Bob, I prefer The Rock, so I went with my heart. I went with The Rock because I do quite like The Rock. It's one of my favourite films.
Okay, 2 for The Rock. And Will the Seal plump for similar? What do you reckon?
Well, I just think it's a better film, and I've gone with The Rock.
Yeah, you're all bang on the money. It is The Rock. Con Air is rated 6.9 out of 10, and The Rock is 7.4 out of 10. And
I found that if I'm trying to deliberate on what to watch on the Netflixers, if the IMDb rating is above a 7, it's usually quite good.
Yes, so 7's a very good mark of quality. If you're ever wondering if you're going through Netflix or Prime, wondering if this is any good and should you invest 2 hours of your time in it. Question number 3 is egg, sausage, chips and beans, and we're talking chips and the thing you put on your chips, which is non-brewed condiment, which is primarily made from a particular type of acid. But which acid? A, citric acid. Sorry, again, struggling with the cat. B, tartaric acid. Or C, acetic acid. Bob, how are you on types of acid?
Well, I know for a fact that vinegar is acetic acid. That's what vinegar is. And I think this may be a little bit of a trick question. I wasn't so sure, actually. So I'll just put acetic acid.
Okay, right. Well, our resident chemist there, Bob Riggles, heavy on the acetics. Kenny, what do you think?
I mean, I struggle with acid reflux, but other than that, I really don't know. So I just went down the middle with B, tartar.
Always go down the middle. That's a good strategy. Ron?
Well, I don't know my acids, to be honest. But with it being fish and chips, I thought fish, tartar sauce, so I went with tartaric acid.
Oh, 2 for tartars, 1 for acetics. The correct answer is C, acetic acid.
Oh, yes.
So, Bob, how did you know about that? Is that just one of the facts of life that you've...
Well, I did study, I did A-level chemistry, and then went on to study a first year of biology degree, and it's just one of those things that sticks in your head. Acetic acid, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Who'd have thought all that knowledge all those years ago would be useful in a band pub quiz?
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of crap up here, all kinds.
Well, they will pay off sooner rather than later, I am sure. Question number 4, bitter lager, cider, ale and stout. This week it's cider, and the most famous cider drinkers in the country are the Wurzels, but the Wurzels have only ever had one #1 hit single. What was that? Is it A, I Am a Cider Drinker, B, Farmer Bill's Cowman, or C, Combine Harvester? Bob?
I went with the obvious, really. I drew a little picture of it. Combine Harvester.
Combine Harvester. Kenny?
I mean, you'd think with the question being, with you mentioning cider, it would be the cider song. But again, I went with the one I like the most, and I went with Combine Harvester.
Combine Harvester. And finally, Ron?
As a kid, it's the only one that we knew, and it was Combine Harvester.
And you're all bang on the money. It is C, Combine Harvester, which got to #1 in May 1976.
Wow.
It'd be alright if one of ours went to #1, wouldn't it?
It would be, wouldn't it? It would solidify us in the nation's heart for the next 40 years. That would be absolutely wonderful. That would...
You never know, though. With these online gigs, we might start getting Saturday night primetime slots,
well,
like the Rumbleweeds did. You never know.
You never know. Question number 5 is crisps. And I, as well as trying to fight my cat for use of this headphone, I'm talking about the UK's loudest crisp. So Dr. Stuart Ferryman got a noise meter out and tried to measure the noisiest crisp in the land. Was it A, Doritos Original? Was it B, Square Crisps? Or was it C, Tyrrell's Ready Salted? Bob, you've eaten a few crisps in your time?
I'm eating some crisps now, in fact. There is...
There's a variety of crisps. Oh.
Some Doritos Original in this bag of mix-up, so let's give it a test.
Weak.
I don't have any of the other products here with me. But my memory, I've not had any Tyrrells. Maybe I have. They're those posh ones in a big bag. But we get squares. We get squares here for pack lunches and stuff. And this crisp is it's quite tough. So I went with squares, yes.
Squares, okay. Kenny?
Yeah, I was torn on this one because Tyrrells are quite hard. They tend to seem a bit harder than other crisps. Squares are quite crispy and crunchy, and Doritos tend to be a bit bigger and crunchier. I just took a complete guess at Doritos. And finally, Ron.
Having just had a bag of squares, I had to go with them because they hurt my ears.
There's going to have to be a steward's inquiry because I think you were cheating because it is a B. Smith. Well, I'm going to call them Smith Square Crisps, but it is Square Crisps. Here's the SPL ratings. Doritos got 78.8 decibels. Tyrrell's got 82.8, but Square Crisp got 88.1 dB. I think technically, Bob, for the Regulation of Noise at Work Act, they're actually technically illegal.
Really?
You couldn't eat those continually more for 15 minutes without ear protection.
Well, I won't be taking those to work with me when I return.
No. Well, in fact, what you could do is you could take a massive multi-pack with you and just eat them in the staff room and just say, I'm going to have to go home. This is illegal. What I'm doing is an illegal activity.
Just get all the bags and just pour them out all onto the floor, strip down to the underpants and just roll around in them. Send me home.
What, again?
Yeah, didn't you do? Yeah, you did that at the end of term last year.
No, that was when I went to the photocopy without my top on.
Question number 6 is the Lancashire Hotpots, and the 6 Lancashire Hotpots, but there have been more, but only Hotpots for a day or so. So here's some people who have been members of the Hotpots, but one of them I've just made up. Which one is it? A, Les Ismore, B, Ostentatious, or C, Crispin Dry? Bob.
I do not remember ever working with a Ostentatious.
Okay, quite firm, quite demanding. Kenny.
I could be completely wrong.
You could be completely wrong. Kenny?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about this one. I'm normally quite good on the Hot Pots questions, but Crisp and Dry seem familiar, so I kind of took a punt between the other two and I just went with a Les.
Les Ismore. Okay, thank you for that. And now then, the man who knows everything about the Hot Pots from their very inception right up to the present day, Dr. Ron Seal.
Well, as I've only worked with you idiots and nobody else, I just took a punt and went with Crispin Dry.
Okay, the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. And if you got this at home, well done to you. This is almost a double points question, but it's not because it's only 1 point per question. Is B, Ostentatious.
Oh.
Now then, for the Hot Pots supercockers out there, Les Ismore played guitar on, was it 1 or 2 tracks on the Pot Sounds album, Bob?
It was Chav. He played on Chav.
Chav.
He played on...
Play on another one.
Can't remember. I think he's most famously on the video of us, the 53 Degrees, when we did Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
Which may be cut in here now, giving Dickie more work to do.
And Crispin Dry, he helped us out playing keyboards for us at Soulfest in 2005.
That's why I remember that one.
Yes, which led us to the. We were asked to do a song in the encore, and we'd only rehearsed a certain number of songs with Crispin, and we just basically went on, and he just said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll bust it. What key is it in?" To which I said, "All of them." All
keys.
All of them.
He did very well, though.
He did. He's a pro. He's a pro. Good old Crispin there. Ostentatious. We'll store him up for for whoever might leave us next, which is the lead singer if he carries on at this rate. Question number 7 is I Fear IKEA, and I wanted to know how much the Billy bookcase is. 30 quid, 35 quid, or 40 quid. Bob, what does your IKEA knowledge tell of you?
Well, it's all value for money. All those prices are, it's a very popular bookcase at a low price. But I went with £40. I think that's reasonable.
Top of the range. Kenny?
This value came in my head before you even read them out, so I don't know whether that's a sign or not, but I went for B35.
Well, the force is strong with that one. Ron?
I thought for quality, you're paying 40 quid.
2 forces, 135. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B, £35. Kenny knew straight away. He's probably made a few more visits than he cares to mention.
I've not been for years, mate.
Good.
I've not been for years and years and years.
Good for you.
If you do go, put your I for your IKEA t-shirt on. It's quite amusing in that everybody doesn't actually read it and just assumes you're staff. And then you look at it, and you look at the t-shirt, and you look at them again, and then they go, oh yeah.
Question number 8 is everybody stands a Bernard. This week it's George Bernard Shaw, and he's best known for writing the play Pygmalion, which was turned into a musical, and which was then turned into a film. So what is the name of that musical, Bob?
I was kind of feeling around in the dark with this one. I've heard of Pygmalion. I couldn't make the link, so I just put one. That's why I asked for the date. It's 1964. This might be a little bit late for that, but I put West Side Story.
West Side Story. Okay, thanks for that, Bob. Kenny?
Yeah, I really had no idea, and I just also guessed West Side Story.
Oh, that's well. See, now there could well be a connection there. I see a young man smiling. It's Dr. Ron Seal.
Well, believe it or not, when I was auditioning for Universities and Drama School, I used a song from this musical, which was On the Street Where You Live. I have often walked down the street before, and it's from a musical called My Fair Lady.
Oh, yeah.
It is indeed My Fair Lady. Would you like to give us a little bit more of that, Ron?
So long is a road somewhere, far away from the cold night. Oh, well, there you go, you get it. But when I went to see it, the father who sang Get Me to the Church on Time was none other than Mr. Russ Abbott.
Oh.
I actually played Higgins in a school concert.
Oh, look at this now.
Higgins from Magnum.
Higgins, yeah. Is that his name, Higgins?
Professor Higgins, yes.
Professor Higgins.
Yeah.
She's got it. By Jove, she's got it.
So you played Higgins, but you couldn't even get that.
That was a long time ago.
Never mind. You might redeem yourself with this particular one because it's question 9, and I asked which continuing drama won Best Soap at this weekend's BAFTA Awards. Now, I'm sure, Bob, the soaps are always on in your house.
Actually, there's never a soap on in our house. This household doesn't do soaps at all. Wife's chirping in the background there, saying it's only because I don't let her. But it's not. I've just gone for Corrie.
Coronation Street. Kenny?
Yeah, no idea. I haven't a Scooby-Doo, so I just stuck with my answer from, I believe, last week's quiz, which was also a soap one. I went with Emmerdale again.
The Emmerdales. Ron, how is yours a soapy household?
It is, yeah. Now it gets me best judgment here because Corrie's got quite a juicy storyline at the minute. But because I don't watch it at all, I went with EastEnders.
Oh, right. Across the board there. Ladies and gentlemen, who won the Best Soap Award at the BAFTAs? It's only blooming Emmerdale, isn't it? See, now, I thought I'd fool you there by going for the same soap 2 weeks in a row.
Well, yeah, that kind of figure in my logic a little bit, yeah.
I like to test and to tease you, as I certainly do on the potluck questions, which this week said that John Ratzenberger, who played Cliff the postman in Cheers, and he's a voiceover actor in all those Pixar films, he was one of the writers of Crown Courts, which was on Granada TV in the afternoons. You watched it when you were ill or when it was school holidays from 72 to 84. Is that statement true or is that false? Bob, what do you reckon?
I don't think that could. I don't think that could happen. I think he would have been too famous at that time. I'm going to put false.
False. Okay, thanks for that, Kenny.
Yeah, I thought it seemed a little too implausible so I went with false as well.
False. And Ron?
Yeah, I couldn't see him doing that. Not when he's in Cheers. It's false.
The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is that statement is true.
What?
Can you? But he apparently lived over here in the 70s.
Wow.
So he's a screenwriter, he's an actor, he's a voiceover artist, a man of many talents. And I've no doubt by now put the screen capture of his appearance as proof of that. Those are your 10 answers to your 10 questions. So what I'd like you to do now is for you to toss up your scores at home and put in your box below the scores that you've got for tonight. Have you done better or worse than last week? Let us know. I think I made them a little bit easier this week compared to last week, because I think a couple of people had a bit of a stinker last week, so I thought I'd go easy on you. And there's only 3 contestants tonight, so this could be quite exciting indeed. So we're going to go first to Bob for Bob's total. Bob, what did you get for week number 19?
I had a cracking start. I had a cracking start. Look at this.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
6 on 10. Brilliant. Cheers for that, Bob. Kenny, how did you fare this week?
Well, I probably should have just gone and joined Burner in the pub because I didn't do very well. I only got 4 on 10.
4 on 10. Oh, goodness. Now, we can't keep letting Bob win, so the only person who can stop Bob this week is Dr. Ron. Ron, what is your score for this week?
Oh, and still the reigning champion.
Oh, he's got 5, which means Bob is the winner of week 19 of the pub quiz.
There wouldn't.
No, it was rubbish.
No.
He wouldn't have got Bananarama, that's for sure.
But I quite missed his little his drawings and his little kind of the way that he spells the things wrong. I've missed that this week.
Well, I haven't missed anything. So
Let's be like we won't watch this back anyway. We're the best ones. Let's just carry on without it.
Yeah, you've got all the main members.
here's a secret. He smells a bit.
Not big dancing in the morning and premiering. Ooh.
He doesn't like beer, it's all an act. Thank you very much indeed for playing along with the Hotpots this Monday night. You stay safe. Make sure you get your tickets for the Saturday night live stream, which is on in a couple of weeks. And we will see you online on the socials for the rest of the week. Cheers, cockers. You take care. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.